Hello everybody, welcome back ladies and germs to NCAA 2004 in the Alabama Crimson Tide Dynasty mode, and we are entering our final offseason of this series, baby, the end of year 16, and we are back-to-back national champions, really kind of letting that confetti rain down in the weeks that follow as we finally pick up a big win in the Fiesta Bowl against the Trojans, who again, I said all through that video, had a really remarkable team, man. There was a lot of great stats on that team, man. They definitely are a national championship worthy team, but they fell up against the other team in college football that also was. So Garrett Handy, one of the best quarterback seasons of all time at this school. That might be the best quarterback season in this entire series. It just might be. Tremaine Moultrie also has an amazing season at running back as well. Love to see it. Two of the best receivers in all of college football. Somehow Ben Medley's a second-team All-American. I think that's absolute insanity. There might be some better ones. I didn't look through the All-Americans, but still, second team for that kind of season, I think is just absolutely ridiculous. But Chip Milligan really puts on in his final season. That's the kind of stuff we were looking for in his entire career, and he finally kind of blows up here in this last season. So, looking over the offensive line, there's a lot of pieces, a lot of key pieces will be missing, so we're going to have to replace a lot on the offensive line. And, of course, Bam Price, one of the best defenders on our entire defense, is also going to be gone. But, you know, we got all three of our top tackle for loss leaders are seniors, so we'll be losing them. Stanley Hastings leads the team in sacks. You know, again, one of the seniors I was just talking about that's going to be gone here. And then the interception leader is Lance Hunt and Theo Thornton tied. And Theo Thornton we will be losing. He will be graduating, but Lance Hunt we should have for at least another season. And then Kendall Owens puts up his worst season kicking in his senior season. I don't know, man. I guess he was just phoning it in, man. Didn't want to go to the league, I guess. Dangerous for him. So, taking a look over the SEC now, of course, we sit atop the standing. South Carolina slots in at 2, even though Tennessee made it to the extra dance here and managed to lose it. And then outside of that, it just kind of falls off. Arkansas with a 9-4 season. So, they had a really tough schedule this year. So, they just could not get their way out of it. In both Florida and Mississippi State finished with one win, but Florida doesn't win a single conference game. So it looks like we will go with this entire series without ever playing the Gators one time. That's amazing. We at least played Vandy and South Carolina. We will never play the Gators in this series. That is absolutely wild. So, looking over our top 25, of course, we're at the top. TCU manages to beat Wake Forest to remain at number 2. West Virginia moves up to 3 after beating Colorado State. Notre Dame moves up to 4. USC drops to 5, only 2 spots. Ohio State moves up to 6, just barely winning their bowl game against Tennessee. South Carolina at 7. Texas here at 8. Colorado State drops to 9. And Indiana rounds out the top 10. You have Penn State, who falls to 11. Southern Miss up to 12. Wake Forest drops to 13. Oklahoma up to 14. Tennessee drops to 15. Air Force up to 16, Virginia Tech up to 17, Iowa at 18, Maryland at 19, and New Mexico State rounds out your top 20. And then you get Arkansas falling all the way to 21, man, losing their bowl game. Unfortunate. And then you have a couple more teams slotting in the top 25, but a little bit more movers and shakers, man. That was the trend that we saw last season, so things are finally starting to change. After almost 20 years of this dynasty, we're finally starting to get a little bit of parity between the top teams in college football. So, Moultrie and Medley both want to leave now. So, okay. So we're already going to lose pretty much our entire receiving core between Chip Milligan and Evan Jacobs. But now also our young receiver, supposedly young receiver, is also leaving. So our top 2 tight ends are also gone after this season. We're also losing our starting fullback. And then like 3 major starters on our offensive line are also leaving. And Jed McPherson, T.T. Holloway, and Sean Goodwin are also all leaving. Our entire right side of the D-line is going to be gone as well. And then, of course, one of our best defensive tackles is also leaving. Bam Price, our best linebacker, is gone. And then Theo Thornton, our best safety, is also gone. So it's one of those years where we're not losing a ton of players, but everyone that is leaving is a significant contributor and has been for multiple seasons. So replacing all these spots, that's a tall order. That's a very tall order, and I don't know if we necessarily have it. We know we have the depth at quarterback to replace Garrett Handy. They're not going to be as good as Garrett Handy, but we at least have the depth there. But all these other positions, that's kind of a question mark. I mean, we have the depth everywhere, but I mean, like, whether or not they're going to be like in the mid to high 90s, replacing, Bam Price's production and Theo Thornton's, that's, again, a really tall order. So, but this is probably the best year of recruiting I have had since, dude, literally like year 4, year 5, like literally this is the best recruiting season we've had. I was able to get prospects all over the gap, a couple top ranking prospects, a couple top 3 ranked prospects at their respective positions. I mean, this is one of the best classes I've had. And we're going to get a look at some of the guys I lost out on, because I didn't lose out on much. There was a few guys that I just wanted to get because I wanted them. Not even necessarily because we needed them, and I lost out on those guys. I got the guys that we needed. You know what I mean? Like I was able to recruit the 5 stars that we needed, but there was a lot of guys I just wanted that we didn't get, which I'm not going to lose sleep over. So we'll take a look at and see which guys got stolen out from under our nose. So of course we lost the number 2 quarterback to Michigan. I just kind of wanted to beef up at quarterback since they wanted to come here, but they went to Michigan. The number 1 receiver goes to West Virginia. We lose the number 4 quarterback to Texas. The number 1 center, who I also did really want, went to West Virginia as well. The number 4 defensive end ends up going to Texas, but we ended up getting like the 1st and 3rd, I think. So it's okay. The number 3 free safety ends up going to Southern Miss, but he's a JUCO transfer, so I'm not super worried. The number 2 tight end ends up going to Southern Miss as well, and then we lose the number 2 center to Colorado State, but I think we got the 3rd. So, and then we lose the number 6 receiver to Oklahoma as well, and then the number 7 running back to Air Force, because they will probably just continue to run the football endlessly, because that's all Air Force does in this game. So Texas still somehow ends up with the top recruiting class. I don't know how, but they end up with the top recruiting class. Well, I know how. They got more 5 stars than we did, but still, man, with everything that we loaded in our recruiting class, Texas still takes the top number here. A lot of familiar faces between Southern Miss, TCU, South Carolina up at 5. Notre Dame is also still here. West Virginia still recruiting well. Same with Penn State, USC, Maryland. I mean, there's no movement in the top 11 teams here in terms of recruiting. Those teams are going to just stay good. But Middle Tennessee State slotting in here. You got Fresno State trying to get back up here. Arkansas still in the top 15. Colorado State maybe falling a little bit here. New Mexico State hopping up there. Wake Forest still staying pretty good. Air Force is in here as well. Texas Tech slotting in is interesting. Same with Toledo and Ohio. So a pair of MAC teams in the top 25 of recruiting, and then Oklahoma and UCLA close things out here in that top 25. So a lot of the same teams. There's only a couple new ones, but a lot of the same teams. So again, we're going to look through the training results, and this is really, I really only just include this because it gives us a nice opportunity to kind of get a glance at the general overalls of our roster before we fully get into the depth chart and see exactly what we're looking at. So I guess I'll ramble a little bit about the replacement, because, yeah, that's really the big thing. So we're going to have to replace our best linebacker. We're going to have to replace like half of our defensive line, both interior and exterior, and then we're going to have to replace like a lot of the offensive line. I think the whole left side is going to have to be rebuilt, as well as starting a new center potentially. And then, of course, all the skill positions. So our receiving core is pretty much depleted. Our running back left early. Our best receiver left early. And then, of course, our quarterback graduated. So our offense is going to look completely new. Our offensive line needs to be kind of rebuilt almost in half. The defensive line is going to be a little bit rough. So when you talk about position groups that you're really confident about, it's really just cornerback, and yeah, I mean, cornerbacks are the only position group that from last year to this year you can just guarantee is going to be about the same. But Matt Bishop is going to be our starter as a sophomore to 88 overall. Jeb Sanders is a freshman, and so is Jermaine Powell, a freshman behind him. We have 2 redshirt freshmen behind Bishop, but he's going to start. So Jamal Stanley is also a sophomore. He's up to an 84. He's going to start at running back. And then J.J. Upton is going to be our new starting fullback. So this is probably the first year in a while we got a big hole at fullback. David Reeves is now up to a 92. He's our top receiver with Dalton and May. These are a couple new freshmen that we have brought in here. We have a lot of freshmen building up our receiving core, because it's been completely rebuilt, guys. We have a rebuilt receiving core heading into the season. So it's better than it was a couple seasons ago when we had to do that as well, but still, it is completely rebuilt. So Blanchard is our tight end at 87. Nick Houston, our junior, is going to start at left tackle. Jaron Sutton, a redshirt freshman, we're probably going to have to move out of the way. We're going to look at the rest of the line, see who we have to move. Corey Bright's going to start at center. Sidney Cox is going to be at right guard, and then Dominic Vung is going to be at right tackle. So we're going to move out Sutton and put Lenny Hines, the senior, to start at left guard. So our offensive line should still be completely solid. There's no concerns there. But on the defensive line now, so we're going to put in Hakeem Klein to start on the left side at an 82. Nate Sprague is going to be on the right side, and then Tim Hardy and Ronald Billings are going to be your starting defensive tackles. We have some good depth there, but everyone's consistently in the mid to low 80s, so pretty solid there. Then linebacking core, Albert Bishop is starting in the middle, and then Eric Tucker's going to be on the right side. So we look around, see maybe what we can do with Bam Price's hole, because we have Craig who's an 85, and I don't think that's terrible. I think we could probably leave that, but there's definitely somebody that we could move. So we're going to put Terry Williams, we're going to move him around, and then see if we can make a good position change. So Hunt, Mosley, and Ashanti Gray here are your top DBs here. And then, of course, you have Bentley and then Burton Moody at the bottom. So everyone's kind of a senior here. So it's going to be a position that's going to need to be fixed after this season, but we're going to be done. So it's not going to matter. Deion Moultrie is going to be our starting free safety. I think he started strong safety last season, but now he's going to start at his actual position this year. And then Josh Mann, we benched last year for Moultrie because he was faster. And it looks like this year we're going to probably do the same thing again. And then we have Marvin Houston, who's going to be our starting kicker. But yeah, I decided to go back. I was like, no, we have to make the switch. We got to make the switch because he's faster. So we have to bench Josh Mann for another season. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens. That's how you continue to win football games. So here is our final schedule for year 17. I realized after I already recorded, I'm like, I probably should just mimic Alabama's real life schedule heading into this season or to the 2025 season, but I thought about it too late. So we're going to go on the road to Hawaii because we played Hawaii in the very first game. But real quickly here, a huge game already in week 0. Oregon schedules Virginia Tech, and Virginia Tech travels all the way to Eugene. The West Coast trip does too much for them, and they lose a close one in Eugene. So Virginia Tech now already suffering another close loss that's going to completely derail their season. And now we're looking to play the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. So Hawaii was a game that we played. It was the last game of the very first season that we played in real, at the very beginning of the series. And so I thought it'd be fun to end with Hawaii on the schedule once again. And then our one ranked matchup is going to be Illinois. So that's kind of where the toughness comes in. Because I am trying to win another national championship, guys. I'm not trying to, go complete gauntlet again. So hope to see you guys against Hawaii.